what we're just going to have a little go with here is the wheel cup, which is a 3D kind of shape that from the Creative Stitches book you can see here. So you can make it really quite deep if you want to. So I'm just going to demonstrate that now. So I'm going to use a different coloured thread to start this. So I did a blanket stitch wheel stitch, and I've now threaded up in another colour and just come up just at the point of if I'd finished going all the way round. And what I'm going to do is, I find it easier to use the blunt end of my needle. I'm just going to be doing a blanket stitch, but only through the sort of top of the stitches from the wheel there. So I'm going to go underneath and take my thread under. So I am actually creating a blanket stitch. And I'm going to do that all the way round. So you're going into each of the stitches here, under here, and I'll do that until I get back to the beginning. So just be careful of your tension. If you pull it quite tight, it will pull it in a bit. Or to start with, you can leave it so that it almost lays flat on the background. So when we go round again, you can begin to shape it in. But again, you can play around with that tension as you go. So I've gone round once there, and I'm going to now go round again. And this time you're going into the stitches you've done previously. So you can just sort of feel your way through with the blunt end of the needle. So I'm not going back into the first ones. I'm now on to the next row, which are here, the last blanket stitches I made. So you can see there, when I actually push it up, it begins to curl in as well. So I'll go around again, and you normally go round sort of, this is the second time round, 2 or 3 times. I'm just going through the last stitch there till I come back to the beginning again. So you can see there it's taking shape. When I flatten it out like that, you can see it, but then also when it relaxes a little, it sort of pulls into the middle there. It's a 3D sort of shape around it. So there are options. So that's going round twice. To go round a third time, which I will do again, if you do want it to flare even more out, what you can do is into each of these stitches, or every so often, is do a blanket stitch twice into the same gap, and then you'll end up with more stitches, so it will flare out. And then the same with that, if you want to pull it in tighter, you perhaps miss one of the loops of the blanket stitch and go for the one after that, which would start to pull in and shape your little wheel there. So when you've gone round 2 or 3 times, or you could even try 4 times and played around with your tension, like I said, or adding in more or less stitches, once you get it to where you want it to be, you just take your thread and just sort of weave it down through the stitches, weave it down through the edge till you come to the edge of the fabric, and then you can just take your needle through to the back and tie it off so it's secure. And then you've got that sort of 3D wheel cup there, and you see in the center of it the actual original blanket stitch there. So it does stick out quite a long way from your work.